Harmoniq is a fully integrated ERP system with additional job costing, CRM and marketing. It's built on a .NET framework with all data stored in a single SQL database, removing the need for numerous costly isolated systems. You get the productivity and efficiencies that come with having real-time data across all of your departments. Harmoniq's interface is clean, consistent and intuitive, making it easy to learn and understand. Each individual module is its own top-level menu item. As you can see, we have a Company Configurations tab, Sales, Purchases, Stock, Bank and Cash, General Ledger, Job Costing, CRM, Marketing and Reporting. As you click on each module, a ribbon-style menu is presented with all the options available to that module. The ribbon-style menu has been utilised for a number of reasons. Firstly, to leverage people's familiarity with MS Office products, and secondly, with the amount of options available to you, it's an optimal use of screen real estate. Now, if I click on one of these icons, this is a customer list. I'll open a few up. Customer orders, invoices, and you can even switch between modules and open up the stock products list. As you can see, the lists look very much like Excel spreadsheets, and again, this is intentional in design as there are very few people who haven't used one. Spreadsheets just seem to work with their headers and data rows and columns. They're easy to read and sort and get the information that you need out of them. But as you're about to find out, this is where the similarities end. Behind the list in Harmoniq is a powerful database with rich features. Okay, so now we'll take you through the features that we have in lists. As you would expect, you can sort columns by just clicking on the header. So sorting by descending, ascending. You can sort columns with numbers, smallest to largest, largest to smallest. You can apply a sort to columns, and for that I'll just open up our sales quotation list, and if I type black, this gives me just the sales quotations for BlackRock distributors. And if I want to copy all of those and export to Excel, as you can see, all formatting is retained. So our date is formatted as you would expect, and our number formatting is retained. So it's here now in Excel to work with and do whatever you'd like with. And pretty much the exporting and importing into Harmoniq, it's as simple as that. It really is just one step. Okay, now the filter we've applied there was a filter for black to give us all BlackRock distributed customers, quotations for that customer. What you'll notice is down the bottom left hand side of the list, there's a toggle available, and that actually can toggle between your filter that you've applied and your full list of quotations. So you can just toggle between that, and once you're happy, you don't want to have that filter anymore, you can just exit out. You can also do a smart filter, custom filters. So if I'm back to the customer list, as you can see, a funnel appears in the header of balance. If I click on that, that allows me to do a bit more of a smart filter based on the data that's available in this column. So here I can actually show all customers with a balance greater than 2,000, and the filter's applied, and again it's down the bottom. Okay, the list you can see is an out-of-the-box list for a customer listing. I'll show you right now, but with Harmoniq it's very simple to modify these lists and customize them at a company level, at a role-based level, so for all sales desk people, or for even to the individual level. So right now I'll just take out the code because we don't really need it. So you just do a right click on code and remove this column. And what I'll do is I'd like to add the credit limit. So I'll add that, and as I'm adding these, you can see them appear on the right hand side of the list. And I'll also, for our follow-on example, I'll add sales rep, and I'll also add region. Okay, so It's very easy to move these around. You just drag it to where you'd like it to appear, and you can just resize. So I'll drag our sales rep over here and our region. And what I'll do is I'll rename the column header just to make it a little bit more meaningful. And also with the sales rep, do the same. Okay, now as I mentioned, if I'd like to save this now as my company default view for customer listing, I'll just click on that and save layout. And as I mentioned earlier, you can apply this to a particular role within your organization or a particular user. At the moment, we're happy to just apply it to the company. So I'll save that. With lists, you have the ability to group. So if I'd like to group by region, categorize this list, just do a right click and group by this column. And now we have a customer list grouped by region. And you can also do subgrouping. So I'd like to also show subgrouping by sales rep. So now we have a very different looking customer list to the one we started with out of the box, and it's only taken less than a minute. Righto, so I don't want to save this away. I just wanted to see the information in this manner, and rather than save this as a default or for anyone else, I can just close that list, and once I reopen, it defaults back to what I saved as our company default. We have a ability to do multiple edits to any document within Harmoniq. So if I do a sort by sales rep, Chris Norris has left the organization, so I'd like to just do a multi-edit on these customers and change the sales rep field and apply a different salesman. So I'll apply Jason Lynch, copy down the values to the other customers and save all. As you can see, it's that easy to update multiple documents. Okay, as you may have noticed on the far right hand side of the screen, there's an N and D column. That refers to notes and documents. And pretty much you have the ability to add notes and document attachments to any element within Harmoniq. So if I just go to our product listing to show you the examples and click on the note for batteries, you can see that the note has been put in the system and it's assigned to a particular user. I'll touch on this in about 5 minutes time when I take you over the highlight feature of Harmoniq, which is my dashboard. And the note, you can write as much information as you like to appear here. There is no limit, and there's no limit to the number of notes you can attach to a particular item. And also within the product listing, I'll take you to our document column, and with the documents, I've just clicked on the note column instead. With the documents, you can open that up, and again you can attach as many documents as you like. This could be used for customer contracts with suppliers, additional technical information on a particular product you're stocking. In here I've got a product data sheet, so to highlight that and open it, it'll just open up the PDF. Okay, and last thing that I'd like to show you regarding lists before I start touching on some of the features of the software. So if I open up the customer list, and as you notice when I'm scrolling through here, on the right hand side of the screen is a information panel, and that just shows a bit more information than what you have available to you in the list. So for customers we have address and contact details, and also a statistics box which shows the balance and your last invoice and last order dates. This information you can customize to your own company, to what you would like to see here. But as you can see, as you scroll down your list of customers, the details change. And another really nice feature here is they're all hyperlinked. So to click on an email address would open up your mail client and address an email to this particular customer. And likewise, if you click on a balance, it'll open up your customer and show their ledger with all the sales invoices and credit notes that add together to give their balance. Okay, now I'd like to touch on a few features that every good software package should have, and this is pretty much how, or just a couple of ways in which Harmoniq handles these features. So first I'd like to show you system integrity. So I'll start with selecting my BlackRock distributor company, and if I do a right click on this, I can go down to actions and I can view an audit trail. Now the audit trail, this gives me every change that has occurred to this particular customer since they've been added to our system. As you can see, it's a list, so you can sort by any of these columns, and it essentially gives you the date that the change took place, the user that did the change, and in your modifications box down the bottom, the actual change. It's very handy. What we've noticed here, if you have a look at our BlackRock distributor, they have a credit limit of 50,000. So I would just like to filter on that and search for my $50,000 amount, because I can't remember having set this filter, the credit limit, so high. I want to know who did that. So as I can see, on the 9th of the 11th, user PB changed my credit limit, the credit limit for this customer, from 20,000 to 50,000. It is a very powerful tool. Every change that occurs throughout our system is recorded in the audit trail. And I'll just show you another way of getting the same information and to a little bit finer detail. So if I open up the customer in edit mode, if I do a right click on any one of these fields, it will filter down that audit trail information and just give me the changes that have occurred for this particular field. So just to follow on from my example of credit limit, I'll find the credit limit down the bottom, right click, show audit history. And as you can see, that the information that I'm after, there's been 4 changes to this field, and that last particular change that I'm interested in matches up with our original one. Okay, next feature I'd like to go over is efficiencies, and how Harmoniq, a couple of ways in which Harmoniq introduces efficiencies to your business. Firstly, we have the quick access toolbar menu, and what that allows you to do is, for a new inductee who needs to only be in a couple of lists in the software, or for someone who's regularly using the software and always wants a couple of lists just one click away, we can create a quick access toolbar menu. And you just do a right click on the icon you'd like to add to the quick access toolbar and add that. And as you'll notice, up in the left hand corner of the screen next to the Harmoniq logo, the customer logo has appeared. And we'll also put invoices up there. We'll put some product list and a CRM for prospects. And then essentially, as you click on that, each one of these icons, the relevant list opens up. If you have the list open already, it just brings a focus to that actual list, or if the list is not open, it will just open it up for you. And it's very easy to modify these quick access toolbar menus. Just by doing a right click, you can remove any entry there. Okay, the second way Harmoniq introduces efficiencies to your business is through a feature called view related items. And this is very handy when it comes to customer queries. So here we're in the sales invoice screen, and I've just right clicked and view related items for the sales invoice. And it essentially shows me all the steps that have gone before to create this sales invoice. So we have a sales quotation, which has led to a sales order, sales delivery note to the eventual sales invoice. And the customer might be querying the price that they received on the invoice, that it's different to the quotation. So you can quite quickly pull up the sales quotation, check the pricing, and reply back to the customer. Okay, now I'd like to show you some good design within Harmoniq. And firstly, we'll go to the products list, and I'd like to just show you how easy it is to add images to our product list. So as I move down through our product list, you can see on the right hand side of the screen the information panel. It shows stocking information and statistics for each product, along with an image. Now, to update this image, it's very simple. You just go to wherever the image may be stored, and in this case I've just done a Google search, and I will make a copy of this, go back into Harmoniq, go to my battery item, you do a right click on the image and you paste, and it's as easy as that. The new item is updated. Very simple, and you could get a PDF document from a supplier with all their products and images, and you could quite easily just go through, copy and put that to Harmoniq, nice and simple. Secondly, I'd like to show you is we have a need for the supplier has changed their code. This is the only product you get, the only supplier you get this product from, so you'd like to reflect that in your system as well. So if we open up this product, we can see that it has its outstanding sales order attached to it. So I'll open this up. So for product OFR 2KY, it's got a quantity of 5, so an outstanding sales order. If I check out historical information, you can also see there's a lot of historical information attached to this particular product. So I'll close that now, put it in edit mode, and I'm going to change the code to the one the supplier has provided me and save that away. And now we're just going to investigate what has happened. So as you can see, there's still an outstanding sales order. And this time what's happened is even in the individual line items of that sales order, it's changed the product code to ORAD. And all historical information is retained. And now if I edit that document again, just to reinforce our auditing capabilities within Harmoniq, if I do a right click now on the code field, show audit history, you can see I'm logged in as system administrator, and today I've changed the product code from OFR 2KY to ORAD. Okay, next feature I'd like to touch on is a couple of cool features, and we'll just go to the custom listing for that. First, I'd like to show you integration with an online mapping site. So if I click on the mapping, what it actually does is it will open the map up and show you the location of the customer. And this box down here, show home, is actually will put your particular branch that you may be logged into or your head office. It will show that on the map. So you now have the ability to do a right click on either and get directions to or from. So very handy when you have a salesman going out to visit a customer, you can get directions to that customer, you can print them out and head off. And likewise with a customer, if they're coming to visit you in head office, you can email some directions across to them and how to get to you. And secondly is just touching on our reporting capabilities, which again, it's sort of very focused on customer lists and how they all work, but again, all these features that I've shown you are throughout Harmoniq. It's very consistent, and that just lends itself to being very easy to learn and navigate around. And here we have a pivot style report, and this particular report is for the customer. It's showing the product categories and the sales in each individual year, quantity and value wise. But what I'd like to just change this view up a little bit, and it's very easy to do. So firstly, I'm not interested in quantity, so I'll remove that. And now you can see I've got this just the value per year. And I also want to drill a little deeper than just product category. I want to actually have individual products. So we'll put product description there. Make that a little larger. And now sort by grand total. So now we have a very different looking view there. We have it by product. So we have the top selling products for this customer overall, and we have it broken down by year as well. And if I highlight the top 5, you can see that we also have a graphical display of this information for the years that we have data collected and the products that we're interested we have highlighted. This type of cool, very powerful reporting is again, it's throughout Harmoniq. Next, I'd like to touch on how we handle user access and security. So firstly, I'll log in as a salesperson that I've set up in the system. And as you can see currently I'm logged in as a system administrator. I have access to all modules within Harmoniq. You don't necessarily want this to be the case. So here for the sales guy, I have just cut down the access, and he should only have access to the sales module and then all the ribbon items associated with that. This it's possible to actually restrict access right down to these individual menu items as well, so they can be hidden as well if you do not want them to be shown. And the second way how we have simplified the system for particular users is a custom menu, and I'll open that up. Being logged in as a system administrator, I can actually view these menus as the user would see them. So I'll just preview the sales menu I've created, and you can see that this is how the screen the user would see. Very cut down, so they have the ability to open up a customer list, sales quotation list, sales order, and down the bottom they have the ability to add a new sales quotation. So I will shut that down now, and I'll just quickly show you how simple it is to add extra items to this. We didn't have the ability to add a new sales invoice, so I'll now add that in. And you can actually apply a shortcut key as well to make it even easier for the user. We'll save that off and preview that menu now. As you can see, we have our new sales invoice button added, and the ability to create now a sales invoice via this menu. And lastly, we have an instant access menu, which is an interrupt feature. It allows you to, no matter where you are in the system, if you get tapped on the shoulder and someone asks you to do a product inquiry for them, or you have to go somewhere else because you've taken a phone call, you can just press the F12 key, and that will give you the instant access menu, or you can just find the star icon in your screen, and clicking on that opens up the instant access menu. This gives you a cut down menu that opens a new instance of Harmoniq, and this cut down menu that you can specify what is shown here just allows you then to go off and do your product inquiry and find out if that product's available. The beauty of this also is in a thin client environment, so if you're running Citrix or RDP, you have the ability to run programs that are located on the server that aren't necessarily on the computer the user is accessing. So here in this particular case, we've got examples we're running Excel and Word, and also an internet search. So once you finish doing what you had to do, you can shut down your instant access menu and you return back to where you were in the system without any interruption. Okay, as promised earlier, I'd now like to show you the My Dashboard feature, which is a highlight of Harmoniq, and it's situated over on the right hand side of the screen. As you move your mouse over the My Dashboard, it pops out from the side of the screen. And this dashboard, it's user specific, so pretty much you can tailor these to the user's requirements of what you want that person to see within your organization. And what I'll do is I will now work my way through the 8 or 9 items that we have in my dashboard and just briefly explain what each one does and give you a few examples. So firstly, we have my workflow items, and these in my workflow items, it shows records of interest relating to your position within a company, and it's about pushing the right information to the right user in a timely manner. So as you can see here, we've got the fact that you've got 7 new sales orders we've been notified, and essentially clicking on this link will open up the sales orders list and only show you those 7 new sales orders. And if you expand on that, you can actually see the numbers of the sales orders, and you can click on each one and it will open up the sales order. We've also got, as an example set up here, a cash drawer that has a security total of, if it's over $500, I want to be notified because there's a security risk and I will need to empty that cash drawer. There's too much money on the premises. Typical examples of workflow conditions that you can put here. You can show items, product lists or products in your product list that have negative or no stock, and you can also show high value purchase orders. Pretty much any condition that you'd like to be able to monitor or report on, we could write a workflow condition for it to appear in your dashboard. Okay, next is my recent activity, and this is essentially just a history for the individual user of what they have done in Harmoniq. And you can just scroll through, and depending on what you want to find, if you want to pull up a quote that you did the other day, you just turn up, and just like in view related items, just by clicking on it, it will open up that particular item that you were in previously. Okay, next we have my property watch list. And my property watch list allows you to monitor parts of the business you need at your fingertips. And in this particular case, I have the debtors control account and the creditors control account that I'm monitoring, and I want to see these balances real time. It's very easy to add something else to the property watch list. So just as an example, I will add a particular customer. I'll sort by balance, and to find this customer, and it's the Golden Vale Dairy, and their balance is very high and they've promised payment in the next couple of days. So what I want to do is I want to add this to my property watch list, and the property I want to watch for this particular customer is their balance, and that will just allow me, and as I mentioned, the dashboard is user specific, so you can actually, being the system administrator, I can save this and it will be assigned to me, but I can actually create a property watch for another user to have in their dashboard just by simply selecting a user from the drop down list. So I'll save that for myself, and now if I open up the dashboard again, go to my property watch list, you can see that this new customer, or the customer I've just added to my property watch list, is there with their balance real time. So I'll be able to check on a regular basis and see if that money has come in. You can also pin your dashboard to the screen so that it always shows and doesn't slide in and out from the right. Next step is my tasks, and this displays actions that need to happen either on demand or scheduled. And if I open one up, you can see here that this is a task regarding a price review for this particular customer. We can actually configure tasks to pop up on your screen at a particular time and date, and also pop up on a particular user's screen. So a typical example of this is I might have a customer that I've just contacted, and they've said they're busy, but please contact them tomorrow. They're available for a short time only from 2 to 2:30. So we might want to notify our sales rep of this, and for this particular task to pop up on their screen to show them that they have to give this customer a call now. So that would just require us to do a reminder and set the date for tomorrow and the time. Okay, my reports. This holds a list of regularly executed reports for the user in the system. My suspended items, it gives you easy access and stores them all in a central location of anything that's not been finalized within the system that you need to come back to. So a typical example of this is a purchase order. So I'll just highlight this purchase order that's been suspended and recall it. And for instance, you might have a purchase order that's 100 lines long and it needs to be completed by 10 o'clock tomorrow. It's the end of the day today and you've got 50 lines in, but you don't want to work until midnight. So you're quite happy to pick this up and resume doing it tomorrow, and rather than leave it open on your screen, you just want to close it off, put it on hold, suspend it, and come back to it at a later stage. And that's how you do it, through the suspend button. And as you notice, I've brought this suspended purchase order up. It's now been removed from my suspended items and it's ready for me just to finalize. But I've just been tapped on the shoulder. Rather than leave it open, I'll suspend this and go off to a meeting. So I'll put it here as purchase order, continue, and here it is back here, ready for me to come back to when I'm ready. My notes, it holds all reminders and details that can be easily lost in a business without Harmoniq. And essentially this is what I touched on earlier with the N and the D column in our lists. These particular notes have been flagged for my attention, so they appear in my dashboard, and I can read the note. I can actually click on so for instance the top note is these guys have potential to be very high value customers. I can click on the item that it relates to and open up the particular customer that it's been attached to. And if I've read this note and I'm happy, I just want to now remove it and just declutter my notes. I just mark it as red and it removes out of my dashboard. It's still within the system attached to that particular customer for everyone to read. And My Colleagues is an instant messaging system. It's for chat and presence alerts. It just allows you to see who's online and who's not, and who's active and who's inactive.
Okay, this completes the brief overview of the My Dashboard feature. So I'll unpin the dashboard and then that will disappear off the screen. As you can see, we can push information to a user's dashboard. However, if you'd like to highlight a condition in Harmoniq for everyone to see, you can use the Agility configurator to create a highlight rule. And the highlight rule that I'm about to show you is I'd like to show in our customer listing customers over 2K balance. You select it from the customer file and you enter your condition. So we want the balance, any customers with their balance greater than $2,000. And then we select our formatting, so foreground color white, background blue, and make it bold. And then I will show you now, once we close the customer list down and reopen, as you can see, our changes are picked up. So it really highlights the condition that you wanted to show, any records that match that condition, and you can use this again throughout Harmoniq to show particular products that in a category, perhaps particular products with zero stock levels, high value purchase orders, sales invoices over a certain amount, pretty much anything you'd like to highlight for your users. Next, I'd like to show you our built-in business intelligence modeling. And this is accessed via the IQ tab in the top left-hand side of the screen. This turns your data into information, helping you identify trends in your business and supporting better decision making. We have 6 predefined dashboards we've created, which are included in the software out of the box. So we have a back order analysis, an inventory analysis, lost sales analysis, sales summary, and a what if analysis. These are very easy to personalize, and you can even create your own if you have specific modeling requirements within your business. So what I'll do is we'll have a quick look at the sales analysis and just give you a feel for how they work and what type of information and powerful reporting you can obtain from these. So currently what this is it's a breakdown of your sales for your company, and currently it shows the top 8 customers and their percentage of sales compared to the rest of your organization, the rest of your customers in your company. So what we can do is we can up that or down that value. So we'll just reduce it to 6, and now you can see that you have a graph here that displays all of that information. We can change this graph to display it in a little more meaningful if you have a particular graph that you're used to analyzing and seeing your data represented in. We can also allow our selections to affect the model. So what I will show you now is I've ticked that checkbox, and now what that allows me to do is within this list of my top 6 customers, or top customers I should say, I can now sort by net value. And if I select my top 4 customers, the selection now affects my modeling down the bottom, my graph. It also affects the other tabs that are related to this. So if I now click on the inventory category analysis tab, I see a breakdown of all the product categories that we have in our stock list, and basically for those 4 customers, what their sales are made up of. Okay, now you can also use the custom filters which appear on the left hand side of the screen, and that can help you even drill down further by region, industry, sales rep, branch, product category, group and supplier. As you can see, this is a very powerful tool, and we also have the ability within these dashboards to do comparative models, so where you can compare last year's sales to this year's sales, and also with our what if analysis you can change up the criteria, so you can actually see how a 5% increase in pricing of a particular product category will affect your bottom line. As you can see from the brief overview I've just given you, this is a very powerful tool, and because Harmoniq is fully integrated between our ERP, our CRM and our business intelligence modeling, all data used is real time, so you get to see real time analysis of how your company is performing.